It is Leonie Carpenter for Chelsea Fans TV. I need a nap after that. Lewis, what are you making of that game?
I'm not used to standing up for this long. Like, lockdown and everything's killed my legs, but at least the game was semi-entertaining, I guess. We knew it was going to be a little bit open because of the amount of rotations in the game, and I also give the benefit of the doubt to some of the performances we saw because of that. Like, there was positives to take out. First off, Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked amazing today.
I rate him so much.
Yeah, he looked probably the most composed one in that midfield. He did everything perfectly, his timing, he knew when to make the right pass, he knew how to use his body to protect the ball as well. His progression was great, everything was excellent from him today, so that was a big positive from today's performance. The midfield, other than that, just kind of looked a bit bare. Like, Sal still looks like he's adapting, he was very poor, lots of fouls, lots of dispossessions as well, but he kicked on a little bit towards the second half. N'Golo, it was just really the final ball with him, but other than that, his ball progression was good, and he still broke up play the same way he usually does. I do want to speak about Malang Sarr because, like, we ain't going to sugarcoat it. He was poor today. He was probably one of the worst players on the pitch, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's still a raw defender. He wasn't really meant to be in the squad. We put him out on the loan list, and we couldn't find a suitor for him. And when you got players that quality, they are going to struggle in games like this. Like, we can't sit here and criticise him and say he isn't Chelsea quality on the back of one bad performance, because if you want to take it back to 2013, De Bruyne had the stinker against Swindon a good few years ago, and we all said he was washed then, and look at him now. So I'm not going to sit here and slash Malang Sarr and say he was poor or anything like that, or he's not Chelsea quality. He just had a bad game. It is what it is. Going forward, though, like, there was still a big problem. I feel like we played two up top at the start, and Ziyech and Werner just didn't link up well enough.
I was going to say to you, because obviously I value your opinion very much. Ziyech, you're welcome. Can you discuss Ziyech for me? Because I see him, I see he's working hard, but it's not coming off for him. What do you think's wrong with that kind of performance with him?
Literally what you said. Everything, you can see what he wants to do, it just never seems to come off for him, and he always just seems... He's just a bit too predictable because, like, you know he's going to come onto his left foot, but it's like he hasn't got the explosiveness to always be able to push onto his left and then immediately hit a strike. He's too slow with it. And I feel like that's where he's going to struggle with. Like, Ziyech, you can't give the same amount of patience to because he's 28 years old. He's not a young prospect. This is the final product with him, and his performances just aren't really good enough. And I feel like he's getting too many chances as well because I'm looking at a player like Callum Hudson-Odoi and he barely even sniffs the forward line. Even in this sort of game, it was the perfect opportunity to play him in his proper position on the left-hand side and to see what he's got. And we played him again at right wing-back, and I can't say too much because there was phases where he was absolutely poor as well. I thought he really struggled in 1v1s, and that's meant to be one of his strengths as well. But I can't fully judge him until he's in his best position, and he's barely going to get any chances to play in his best position. So I'm struggling to see why he didn't play in that position today. Like, this is why I keep saying we should have loaned him out to Borussia Dortmund when we had the chance. I get that we kept him because we needed to fill out the depth in our squad, but we were looking at right wing backs in June, and then we just stopped. We were looking at Adama Traore. We know Hakimi didn't fall apart for obvious reasons. Yes, bro. And, like, we should have got a right wing back in, and we should have allowed him to go out on loan because he would have come back after a year a completely new player. Now I feel like we're just stagnating his growth for another year, but you can't say too much because he also wasn't really that good at right wing back either. Like, there was only a few decent performances in that squad today.
Who would you say shone for you tonight?
Ruben, I'd say Chilwell was good in phases. Kepa was great today.
You've got to give him credit.
He was catching crosses. I haven't seen him catch crosses in years, but that just shows the confidence that he's at now. Going forward, Lukaku came on and he instantly had impact in the game. Other than that, I don't really think there was that many great performances today. Werner was good in the second half. First half, he struggled. He struggled in the first half. Come on. Yeah, second half, he was a lot better at the very least. But Aston Villa were making rotations as well, so it was going to be that open sort of game. In the first half, it was very end-to-end. It was just, there was no end product on either side. Then we got the goal in 10 minutes. We had the momentum on our side. We kept peppering their goal. And then within 10 minutes, Trevor Chalobah falls asleep at the far post. I forgot the name of who even scored that, but he got a lucky hit and it went in for 1-1. They applied the pressure on us too. We held on, and then it just went to penalties, and you know what happened. Kepa magic as per always.
So let's talk about this competition. How much does it mean to you to win this trophy?
I'll be real, I'm happy to win the competition, but really and truly, if we get knocked out, I don't care. Like,
if we got knocked out tonight, would you be bothered?
I'd be annoyed at a few of the performances, but I'm going to go home and I'm going to forget about it as soon as I close the door. Like, it's the Carabao Cup, it's not really that deep. And if you really look at it, December and November is going to be a massive pile-up with the Carabao Cup in itself. Do you remember when Liverpool won the Champions League and they had to field their entire under-23s against Aston Villa because they had the Club World Cup in 2 days? That'll be the same situation for us. So if we don't progress in the Carabao Cup, it is what it is. I don't really care. This game was just about seeing what the fringe players would be like, see what the youth players like, see who was impressive. And there was a few gems in there. So that was just good to look at.
Do you feel like in that sense then we should continue to play with those fringe players?
Yes. Like, as soon as we get through to November, December, we're going to be filled up with fixtures. So for this competition, I want fringe players, I want youth players, arrest as many players as possible. I don't care if we're playing Man City, I don't care if we're playing Rotherham. I don't really care. Just if the youth team take us to the final, then credit to them, and it just shows how great our depth is. If we don't make it through,
give them a chance.
Literally, just give them a run out, because they ain't going to get much of a chance in the league or the Champions League.
I mean, I think that's good in the sense because we're competing for so much this season as well. So it's promising for Chelsea fans to see that. So in terms of our performances then, if we come away from tonight, are you satisfied?
I mean, we won. There was positives to take out of it. There was some good performances. Like right now, I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek's our fourth choice midfielder, and it isn't really sour right now. He needs to up his performances before he gets up to that level. Other than that, like, players got more fitness, they got a bit more sharpness. They'll have another game in a few weeks in the fourth round. It's Southampton at home as well, so I do think that's the sort of game that we can rotate in as well. So I'm satisfied. Like, I'm happy we won and everything, but again, if we lost, I wouldn't have cared too much.
Can we lastly talk about Man City on Saturday? Are we going to win?
There's no reason why we can't win. Like, this team, I'm confident with them in 90 minutes against everybody. But you know Man City is going to pose a threat too. And after we beat them in the Champions League final, they're going to be very eager to cause some damage to us as well. I wouldn't underestimate them because they haven't got a striker and also because they are the Premier League champions. Like, it's very easy to say why. But we know what these sorts of games are like. They're tight, and we are very similar teams. We both have strong defences. Our midfields can outmatch each other at certain phases. And the only difference is we have a number 9 while I feel like they have better creators. So it is a very even match. That's why there are always one-goal games between us and Man City, and there's a reason for it. So minimal mistakes. We have to be on it. We have to be smart. We have to have our heads switched on from the start. But of course we can beat them. We beat them 3 times on the bounce. Just keep it running, make it 4 times in a row, and make a statement to the rest of the league. Because if we beat Man City and we beat them convincingly, everyone's going to be running scared of Chelsea if they aren't already.
Absolutely, especially after that result against Tottenham as well, which, you know, we can all sort of be happy about still.
Yeah, brilliant second half performance. Tuchel with another tactical masterclass at half-time. We came out with a completely different side. And that's the other X factor as well, because we know we can play poorly in certain phases. Then we know Tuchel's going to come in, completely change up the team, and we're going to come out a fresh team for the second half. So there's no reason not to be optimistic. Even if we start the game poorly on Saturday, we can turn it around just like that. And that's because we've got a striker. We've got a player that can finish with the chances that he has. So anything's possible in that game. We could go in there, we could lose. But I have full confidence that we're going to go out there and get a win.
That's it. Confidence in the team, confidence in the manager as well. Thomas Tuchel absolutely smashing it at the moment, isn't it?
Thomas Tuchel's he's kept the same form from last season. 4 months in, he got us the Champions League trophy. Now we're sitting there joint first place. And again, we're confident against everybody. Juventus is coming up after this. They're in horrendous form. We're likely to smash them as well. And then we've got a favourable run of fixtures. Usually the sort of fixtures that we do slip up against, but now we have a number 9. We have a flat track bully in Lukaku who loves scoring against the smaller sides. So again, there is no reason not to be optimistic. We're favourites for a reason.
Lewis, I love talking to you. Honestly, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm full of optimism now. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.